Hello everyone and welcome for a new owner review. Hello Robert Jan, and thank you for accepting the invitation. Could you please tell me since when you have the car and why did you choose it?
I have the car since December 2020 and I've made this choice because I was in for another car and I wanted to have something more environmental friendly and obviously a little bit more exciting to drive also. Plus I'm always looking forward to new techniques and well, sometimes a new brand is also good.
Which car did you drive before?
I drove a Volvo before this one, and before that I drove a BMW. BMW was just one which I picked with my heart. It's a BMW 7 Series. That was just fun to drive, definitely. But after a year I just went back to a little bit more practical car, which was a Volvo V70, a diesel one. But then obviously everybody had to work from home, so the car was not driving a lot anymore. So then it's like, yeah, let's take a look for a car which is a little bit cheaper also in keeping it, right, for the taxes. And I think this is a much more interesting car, definitely.
And how many kilometers did you drive until now?
Until now I drove in this car roughly 45,000 kilometers. So a little bit over a year I drove 45,000 kilometers.
And what is your longest trip?
We went to Italy actually on a holiday last summer. And that was at first a little exciting because well, it's the first time with an electrical car on a holiday. But well, all the superchargers, it's such a good network, so there was really no issue at all. Could charge anytime, anywhere, so definitely a good experience.
And how long it takes from Lelystad, right?
Yeah, I am from Lelystad, and we went to Rome actually.
To Rome.
So roughly it took us 15 hours. And that includes all the charging moments, the charging pauses that you have.
And how many charges did you do?
I think 6 or 7, something like that. Oh, yeah, so it was quite okay actually.
Which model did you choose?
We're actually now sitting in a Tesla Model 3 Performance. This is a 2019 model, so it's one of the first that they brought out.
And is the only car you have?
No, my wife has her own car. She's driving an Opel Astra from 2008 because she's also worked quite close to home. So.
And what are the things you love about this car?
Ooh, yeah, where to start? Well, to be honest, I think acceleration is definitely something which is high on my list. But second, it's comfortable, it's practical. There's definitely sufficient range to drive wherever you would like to go. And what I was mentioning before, it has an easy to access charging network also. So besides the Fastnet and all the other chargers that you have in your neighborhood, Tesla is maintaining their own supercharge network.
And did you charge mostly at home or supercharger?
Yeah, mostly I charge at home because obviously most of my kilometers are driven from home to work. So charging at home, it's simply the easiest also, but it's also better for the battery. Supercharging, if you do it all the time, it's not really recommended for a battery.
Are there also things that you don't like about the car?
One thing I really miss on this specific car is the tow hook. But yeah, to be honest, you can have it actually on the other Model 3 cars at the long range and the standard range. So it's particularly on this car that it is not a possibility. But further, not really, to be honest.
When you ordered the car, what were the delivery time?
For me it was not that long because this one was already driven by someone else before, so you can call it a second hand. So for me it only took a few days to take it in delivery. But roughly for Tesla it varies a little bit. Last year obviously the delivery times were shorter, but now because of the chip shortages delivery times are a little bit longer. but roughly it takes between 2 and 3 months.
And did you had any build quality problem issue since you have the car?
No, not at all, to be honest. I've read a lot of stories about gaps between the panels, but with this one I really went into detail over it, but I couldn't find any strange gap or weird alignment. No.
Have you ever called Tesla service center or
Yeah.
service range?
Yeah, that I did have to do once I had a problem with my right side window mechanism. So they replaced the motor on that, and I had to go back a few times to the Tesla dealer because there was an air bubble in the cooling system, which leads to a decrease of performance.
And what was your feedback experience with them? Are you happy or can be better?
Now, obviously, as an owner, you hope never to go back to a dealer or to a garage. But the way that Tesla does it, I mean, they had the loaner car ready. They had a good lounge also to, if you want to stay there, you can do your work also. Nice representatives. So yeah, to be honest, it is fine for me, definitely.
And you go to Amsterdam, right? To the service center? Or,
No, I went to 2 actually. One was in Permanent, and there is where I had the air bubble issue resolved. And last time I went just for maintenance, just a checkup of the car. That was in Wezep, which is close to Zwolle.
There is also a Tesla in Wezep.
Yeah. So it's not in Wezep, not the one close to Amsterdam, but the one close to Zwolle.
And do you have any tips and tricks to share?
Well, I think the best tip is just to experience it. I'm reading and watching a lot of reviews on other electrical cars, and I think the electrical car market is getting better and better. More options are given with electrical cars, so the competition for Tesla is getting there, in my opinion. But yeah, to be honest, Tesla is still ahead. They have their technology, they have their over-the-air updates, they add features also, they change performance on the cars also. They can do so much over the air, and that is, I think, something that can be learned for the other manufacturers. But yeah, to be honest, just experience it. Just get into a car, try it, and listen to the user stories also. I think that's the best tip that I can give.
So you don't have any regret that you
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I'm still sometimes looking around like, hey, what else is in the market? But it is so difficult. Every car has their own pros and cons, obviously. But so far now, Tesla for me has the most pros. So therefore, I'm still happy with my choice. Absolutely.
Because you see what is on the market now. Tesla, they have the Model Y. It's not
Yep.
something for you.
It is definitely an interesting car, absolutely. But the disadvantage is I have this one from my employee, from my employer, and the tax here in Holland is not that interesting, so to say, for people that get a car from the company, a company car. So if you compare it with the amount of money that it will cost, then for me, this car for now is fine. I mean, definitely the Model Y, it's a little bit higher. It does have the tow hook again, and of course it has a little bit, it has a few new features on it again. But for me, this one is still the good one.
Do you have children?
Yeah, I have 2 daughters actually. One is 8 and one is 5. So also 2 kid seats in the back. It's an easy fit. It's easy mountable. And they're also still happy with it. They call it, so to say, they call it their roller coaster.
And with the trunk, are you happy? Because I know the opening is not.
Yeah, the opening is
really
indeed
big,
quite
yeah.
small, but eventually you just have to adjust yourself a little bit to it. If you're used to it, then it is quite okay. I mean, obviously you can't fit in like a fridge or something like that, which you could maybe do in that Model Y. But on the other hand, like I said, you just adjust yourself to what you have, right? I think
Yes.
that eventually makes sense.
So it was an easy switch from a normal car, let's say from Volvo, to an electric car. It was a.
Well, obviously you have to get used to the one pedal drive. So with like a normal petrol car or diesel car, when you let go of the throttle, it keeps on rolling, right? The Tesla car or any electrical car, it does regenerative braking, and therefore it brakes by itself already. On one side it's an advantage, on the other side you really have to get used to it. But yeah, after a few hours of driving in it, it makes it yourself again. It's so intuitive, just same as like with an iPhone or something like that. You just get used to the way it works, and that makes it easy.
And do you have any boost for the acceleration
No,
boost?
This one doesn't need a boost. No, you can have it indeed on the, if I'm not mistaken, on the long range, and then it does indeed help a little bit. But this one, it doesn't need any boost. Once the traffic light hits green, you will notice. This one doesn't need the boost. It's fast enough.
Yeah.
It's a little over 3 seconds to 100, so it's definitely sufficient.
Also, they made the Tesla Model S Plaid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that one it's 1.9.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, on the other side, I mean, yeah, of course, it's again much faster.
But also expensive.
But it's definitely expensive, and the 1.99 seconds, it's not always right. You really have to set it up.
Yeah.
It has to preheat and etc. And this one, at a 3.3 seconds, it has it always. It's always there.
Yeah, but also you don't need it every day that you go on the.
That's
you
absolutely
can.
true.
I think in the beginning it's for fun.
Yeah.
To have it, but after, yeah.
It depends a bit on who is on next to you at the traffic light, right?
Yes. Yeah, because if you have like also an interesting car, and I saw a lot of video of when Bam Tesla come. It's not racing; it's just for fun.
It is indeed just for fun. If you want to have a racing car, to be honest, don't buy a Tesla, right? I mean, yes, you can definitely go fast and etc. But yeah, to be honest, if you really want to have that emotion of driving a car, then for me still a petrol car is still the way to go, right? Just like a V8 or a V12 or something like that. Absolutely.
But after that, with the tax in the Netherlands, it's not. In the future, it will not be the best choice.
No, that is absolutely true. But yeah, on the other hand, a hobby and stuff that you really like, it always costs money, right? And that's a bit of the thing. No, it's not the most interesting choice, absolutely not. But yeah, like I said, for me, the kilometers that I drive, the Tesla is definitely good. But if you really want to have a fun car, right, and something for in the weekend, like a convertible or something like that, yeah, that's maybe something for Tesla to pick up on.
Do you have like a fun story with the car that you did?
Oh well, I do have. What I'm also doing with this car is there's a foundation. It's called Make a Wish, and with a lot of Tesla drivers in the Netherlands, we have actually a group from that. With a lot of them, we just meet up and make kids happy, right? I mean, they have mostly they have those horrible diseases, or they have just like a really rough time behind them. And what we're trying to do is meet up. We just send a message in the group saying, hey guys, this is a kid that really likes Tesla, so let's meet up and let's get together and let's give him a good day, right? So for example, last week we went to Deventer, Doetinchem. We went to Doetinchem, and there was one kid. He was 11 years old. He was diagnosed with cancer, and together with his whole classroom, so all of his classmates came out, and together with 27 cars, we had an awesome evening. And you know, if you can share stuff like that with kids that really like cars like this, or maybe even other cars, of course that's also a possibility. I mean, that's just the best that you can do, right? I mean, yes, it's fun to have a car like this, and it's fun to have
you are approaching a dangerous level crossing.
Different cars also, like real sports cars and stuff like that. Obviously it's fun, but it's only fun if you really can share it with other people also. And yeah, to be honest, I mean, there's a song in the Netherlands And it's sad, right? The smile of a kid is making you realize that you're living.
Yes.
And that is something I think that more people should think of, right? I mean, we're really good, and definitely in the Netherlands, right? We're really good at complaining. It's raining, it's too hot, it's too cold, this is not good, that's not good. But I mean, there are people that have really worse situations. So think of them also, and realize that life is actually not that bad what you're having.
And in the end, yeah, the smile you put on the face doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, you need to go there.
Yeah, you need to go there, exactly.
But,
and sometimes it takes like 2 or 3 hours, you know. But what is then 2 or 3 hours, right? There's actually nothing compared to sometimes what those kids are experiencing.
And you are 27 Tesla or also different car?
No, those were all Teslas in that case. So we had the Model 3 was there, the Model X was there, the Model Y was also there, S was also there. So yeah, it was a complete get together of all different kind of models.
So you'll never switch back to a normal car? I mean, not electric car, but gas?
No, I think indeed electrical cars are definitely the future. Something which is coming up a little bit more is the hydrogen cars also. There is not so much available yet. And maybe that is, I mean, we don't know, right?
Speed camera at 70.
But petrol and diesel is something of the past, yeah, absolutely.
Me, I have like an hybrid car, Toyota Corolla Touring Sport, the station wagon. Yeah, we have a baby, and
yeah, you need to have some room also, right?
yes, yeah, when you go, you know, on holiday off, yeah, we go to visit the parents of my wife. They are living nearby Den Bosch.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and you take the trolley and all this stuff. Yeah, it's going.
Oh.
Before we had like a Kia Niro, but the trunk was really small.
Okay.
And if you put just the caddy there, it's the trolley. It's us.
When we were still driving around with the trolley, we were driving a Ford Mondeo actually. You know, the station car also.
Yeah, because they are big. Like
yeah, you need to have a lot of space for all the stuff that they want to take, right? And they need to take toys and then diaper bags and then whatsoever. Yeah, something like what's driving in front of us is also fun to drive, right?
Yes.
But not on the road. You need to take it off road.
Yeah, it's also the new one. I don't know if you saw it. It's
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, it looks nice, definitely. But on the other hand, I mean, this is something with emotion then again, right?
Yeah, of
At
course.
least for me then.
No. Yeah, I like also. I did some off-road in the past, and yeah, it's a feeling that you cannot describe if you have the right car.
Correct, yeah,
Because-
indeed.
And what is your consumption on average?
Yeah, on average I drive, 204 watts I believe. Yeah, so average is 204 watts per kilometer. But yeah, it varies a lot on when you have like a good weather like we have today. The weather is nice, but still it's a bit chilly. Then obviously the consumption is a little bit more, and definitely in the winter also. So when I charge it to 100%, it says roughly 460 and a bit kilometers. But in the winter, when it's really cold, you do say 60% of that is then an average that you can do. In the summer, when it's like 25 degrees, something like that, you can easily do between 90 and 100% of efficiency. So then you really get up to the 450 kilometers.
And at home you charge it. You have like a lat pal, like a.
Yeah, I do have a charging station or a
charging.
charging device at home. It's not the one from Tesla actually, which most people would expect. But yeah, eventually it doesn't really matter, right? What kind of a charging device you have at home. You have to see whichever fits also to your home, which fits also to your budget. Eventually, the only thing that it does is you deliver the power to your car, right?
Yes.
And what you could do with some is a smart charger. So you can just charge it with like a card or charges by an app, which is all possible, but it depends a bit on your own desires and wishes.
Would you recommend this car to someone else?
Yeah, absolutely, I will. But again, it depends also on your family situation. Like what you were just explaining, right? Once you have small kids, then maybe the trunk is a little bit too small. But on the other hand, it will fit a trolley in it and etc. But for overall use, I would definitely recommend it to anybody else. Absolutely.
So you don't mind that you see so many white Tesla?
I mean, Tesla in general, you see a lot, right?
Yes.
But that was because in 2019 it was just super interesting to take it as a company car. But I think it's just sometimes nice to see another white Tesla. And the better part is if you have like the same type also with exactly the same wheels on it and stuff like that. Then it is fun, and then you just look at each other, give a thumbs up, and then you drive along, right? But that's a bit of the whole car, how do you call that, car culture in Holland, right? If a car becomes interesting as a company car, you will see it for the coming few years so many times on the highway. And now the 2019 models are slowly being replaced as a company car. Some have the 3 years, some have 4 years as a company car. So slowly it will be less also again. And then it becomes a little bit more rare to see them also. But therefore we have those the performance emblem, so to say, on the car. And then you really know who you're looking at, so to say. That's fun.
Thank you very much, Robert Jan. Don't forget to subscribe, like and leave a comment below. See you soon.
Thank you all.